allowed to do either of these things. One thing that is still the same as it was then is that the federal government works with foreign countries, and it also is allowed to declare war. Even though the government has changed immensely since the Articles of Confederation, we still have some of the same things as then that we still have today.
You mentioned something about collecting taxes. Did you say that? Give me an example of how the federal government is able to collect taxes today.
Well, it collects taxes for fixing like roads, like in potholes and stuff. So that would be one way that it helps out.
Okay, definitely some federal contracts, like national highway systems. Usually the federal government might collect taxes for that. Also, programs such as, say, welfare programs. That can be federal. Any other examples of where we collect taxes from federal government that we actually use those taxes into the system? Anybody got any examples of that? Not state level. Like state would be more like the B&B. Okay, when you go, anybody knows what the B&B is? Okay, you got a couple people. You might have older brothers and sisters who just got their license or something. What's the B&B?
Is it like where you get your driver's license and you get tested for it?
Exactly, where you get your driver's license. And let's see, you guys at 12, 13, so in about 3 more years, you'll be going to the B&B and taking the test. But when you go to the B&B and take your driving test and your written test to get your license, that is actually through the state government. That's not through the federal government. So you actually pay taxes that goes to the state government, so that way you can have a B&B, which is a Bureau of Motor Vehicles, okay? But then you have other things like I mentioned the welfare office. There's an organization that actually, if you do not pay your federal taxes, they'll come after you. Anybody know what that organization is? Not the FBI.
I know that.
Y'all told me to do this. Anybody know what that is? Yes. IRS.
I knew
Okay.
that.
Now, is the IRS going to be federal or is it going to be state level?
Federal.
That's federal. Okay. They come and get you and take you to jail if you don't pay your federal taxes. All right. Now, all those things about if you go to jail if you don't do this, or we'll send somebody after you, or we have offices so that we can help people get welfare. That's a way of enforcing things. Okay. During the Articles of Confederation, you didn't have a way to enforce laws. Okay, so if the Congress made a law, they just made a law, and they just hoped that the states will follow through. So the states would have to make their own welfare office if that's something they wanted to do. The states would have to have their own IRS. But now we have our own IRS for the federal government, and that way the federal government can enforce those laws. Now, who's in charge of enforcing the laws? If it's not the Congress, because they make the laws, who's in charge of enforcing laws, making sure they happen? Who's the head guy, head honcho? Yes.
Well, I thought it was the executive.
It is executive. So it is President Obama. So President Obama is the head of the executive branch. And the executive branch is the branch that enforces laws. Now, do we have an executive branch during the Articles of Confederation?
Nope.
No.
We only have one.
So we could not enforce laws. We only have one branch. What branch was that? Congress. Very good. Who else maybe talked about some stuff that Emma didn't talk about that we have today that we didn't have then in your journal? Okay, I'll pick on somebody. Brooke, you're the first face I saw.
Oh, I talked about the same thing.
Same exact thing. They always say that. All right. Well, go ahead and share what you got. You might phrase it differently. You might try to pick on you just at the top front page.
I said they can now collect taxes,
Okay.
they can enforce laws. And I think they can also regulate trade, because I really didn't know if they could or not, and that's just the first thing.
That's different. I don't think, did you mention that? You did mention that? Okay, yeah. They can regulate trade. So President Obama, even though he might veto certain laws that come through, also once a certain law goes through, and it might be a trade law, saying where I'll give you an example. President Clinton started something called, it was like a free trade commission, all right? And in this free trade, I believe it's called NAFTA, where there's no import-export taxes or fees between America, United States, Canada and Mexico. So that means there's no import, export taxes. Why would that be a good thing? Emma?
It'd be good because it'll be easier for all of the countries to not have to pay extra taxes, and more of the money that they get from trading and stuff will go directly to the farmers and whatever, and so it'll save money in the big picture.
Yeah, if you don't have to pay a fee, you save money, right? If I'm going to ship something to you, you know, say for example, Zawad has a country and he's shipping shoes, okay? And I have another country that's right next to Zawad, and I need those shoes. Now, is he going to be really happy to give me those shoes if I charge him a fee? If I charge him a fee?
Whoa.
Okay. No, he's not going to be happy about that. Now, say, for example, okay, my country is charging him a fee to import